International organizations and foreign investors are planning to help. But a weak government led by President René Préval is not creating the propitious environment for reconstruction and redevelopment. Weak or ruthless governments have always been Haiti's downfall since the country fought for and gained its independence from colonial France in 1803. The battle for independence was preceded by years of struggle and local rivalries between the indigenous leaders. This was a sign of what was to plague the country during its 200 years of existence as a sovereign nation. One of the most forward-thinking early leaders was Toussaint Louverture, a self-educated former slave. Louverture initially sided with and fought for the Spanish crown, but after the British invaded Saint-Domingue, as the country was then called, he decided to fight for the French if they would agree to free all the slaves. Having placed himself as master of the island, however, he preferred an autonomous nation rather than one controlled by France. In 1801, he published a constitution which declared autonomy and made himself governor for life. In retaliation, Napoleon Bonaparte sent a large contingent of soldiers and warships to the island. Led by his brother-in-law Charles Leclerc, this expedition came to restore French rule. Their ultimate mission, though, was to restore slavery. The French contingent was accompanied by mulatto troops, children of the French and their slaves. These were led by Alexandre Pétion and André Rigaud, leaders who previously had been defeated by Louverture. During the new struggles, some of Louverture's closest allies, including Jean-Jacques Dessalines, defected to Leclerc. Eventually, he was promised non-retaliation if he agreed to stop the hostilities and reintegrate his troops into the French army. He agreed to it in May 1802, but was later deceived. Captured and shipped to France, he died months later while imprisoned at Fort-de-Joux in the Jura region. In November, like much of his army, Leclerc died of yellow fever. His successor, the Viscount de Rochambeau, fought a brutal campaign, and his atrocities convinced many former French loyalists to rally to the rebel cause. The last battle of the Haitian Revolution, the Bataille de Vertières, was bravely fought on the 18th of November 1803 in the northern town of Cape Haitian. On one side were the Haitian rebel slaves led by Jean-Jacques Dessalines, armed mostly with machetes, picks and stones, and on the other, a depleted French colonial army commanded by the Viscount de Rochambeau. The French were forced off the island. Saint-Domingue was now an independent nation with its pre-colonial name Haiti. Several years later, in 1825, Haiti was forced to make reparations to the former French slaveholders in exchange for an end to the French threat and recognition of its independence. This payment bankrupted the Haitian treasury. Starting from a position of bankruptcy, Haiti suffered under the leadership of one dictator after another, further plunging the country into its current poverty. The earthquake seemed to threaten forever any hope of recovery for the country and its people. The government of René Préval has not taken charge. A failed first round of elections at the end of 2010 has brought more political uncertainties. The return of former dictator Jean-Claude Baby Dog Duvalier and exiled president Jean-Bertrand Aristide does not seem to help the situation in the least. Though the second round of elections in March 2011 resulted in Michel Martelly as a landslide winner, critics doubt that the Compass star, who until now was better known for his ribald lyrics and indecent performances, will be up to the task. On my last visit there, every maimed man, woman or child, every begging face, and every collapsed building brought home to me the awesome need and the amount of effort it will take to turn the country around. I went to an orphanage where I visited some children who had lost limbs. It's really understating it to say that their lives have been disrupted by the earthquake. But in spite of it all, they still managed to smile. Haiti does not have a good track record dealing with members of the population who are disabled.
The reason maybe so many children are being abandoned in hospitals is because handicaps are seen as castaways. There is a mentality here that a child is born handicapped. Right away, they'll fill the family's head with maybe something they had done. Maybe it's a superstitious thing, and so it's a demonic thing. It's something that you had in your family, and so it's voodoo related. It's some kind. They have everything that they think why the child is born with a handicap, instead of thinking it's a gene problem or it's maybe some other things that medication they might have done. So the society rejects these children. They look at them as a sore in the family, well, you shouldn't be keeping this child because even that might attract some evil spirits to them, or maybe it's the evil spirit in the family that created that. So they need to kind of get rid of it. And you can see that how many times people come in with their children, the child is handicapped, and they said, we want to close him somewhere. We want to kind of, and the idea is almost like we want to, just put him behind doors so people don't see the child. And now this is for the poor people. The poor people will bring it to you, or they will abandon. The rich sometimes will just get a nanny for that child, but you'll never see the child anywhere, in the open society.
Now, with the possible 300,000 physically disabled members of society, they will have to be looked at differently. The population will need to be educated in order to understand that the physically disabled also deserve a normal life. The infrastructure will need to cater to their needs, and the education system will have to adapt as well. The coming generation will truly be known as the amputee generation. I also went to the tent cities, one of them at a park called Place Boyer, one of my hangouts as a teen. I expected to see sad and angry people. To my surprise, they were very welcoming, busy going about their lives, washing, cooking, building shelter and hoping that something will be done soon to rebuild their homes, their schools, their playgrounds, their lives.